I find that as long as I acknowledge the truth of something, then that's it. I know what it is, and then I can operate. But if I overestimate the downside of something and I get too obsessed about the difficulty of it, then I don't leave enough room to be open for the upside, the possibility. This quote by actor and Parkinson's patient Michael J. Fox brings to life the topic of my project. This presentation will discuss healthcare communication ethics, but specifically health and responsiveness, with regards to accepting the inevitable situations that come along, but still. To begin, we will define health and responsiveness in terms of communication ethics. Arnett, Hardin, Fritz, and Bell define health as how our physical, spiritual, and mental communication engagements meet particular standards of wellness. Essentially, this says that our general state of our health is important to us. Responsiveness speaks to the way that we interact with ourselves and with others in less desirable health or wellness situations. Our text speaks on two similar concepts of optimism and hope, but it also teaches that they are actually more different than commonly thought when it comes to human health conditions. Optimism can waver or even cease when our demands or expectations are not met in a given circumstance. For example, take having a biopsy done. Most individuals would be optimistic and expect a positive outcome. When results are negative, however, their attitudes by nature switch to panic and despair. Hope, on the other hand, is an understanding that while not all demands can be met, a positive response can alter the overall experience. Return to the same example of the biopsy. The individual receives the same test results, but this time they are more hopeful that the available treatments, a healthier lifestyle, and the right mentality will make the situation better. Viktor Frankl penned the idea of the final freedom. The idea behind this concept is that humans have the ability to face a health-related situation, accept it for what it is, and respond in a way that promotes the good of better health, even when the end result is a possibly inevitably negative one. This also speaks to the idea that while so much of the human experience cannot be controlled, we do have the power, and in this case the freedom, to choose our response. Returning to the title of this presentation, we look to the 1998 film Stepmom, starring Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon. At this point in the film, the main characters Jackie and Isabel, who have spent the better part of the movie bickering and attempting to one-up the other, finally call a ceasefire. They are choosing to acknowledge and accept Jackie's terminal illness and agree to do what they can to make the remainder of her life meaningful and worthwhile for herself and for her children. For both women, their new response to this unfortunate situation is one of acceptance and openness to the ideals and roles that they had previously been opposed to playing.
Would you like a drink? Patron, please, double. What's up? Last year, I lost Ben. What? In the supermarket. You're lying. It's true. That's impossible. You could never lose that kid for 1 second. I did. Ben never mentioned it. He just remembers I found him. Why didn't you tell me? You know why. I never wanted to be a mom. Well, sharing it with you is one thing. Carrying it alone the rest of my life. always being compared to you. You're perfect. They worship you. I just don't want to be looking over my shoulder every day for 20 years, knowing that someone else would have done it right, done it better, the way that I can't.
What do I have that you don't?
You're Mother Earth incarnate.
You're hip and fresh.
You ride with Anne.
You'll learn.
You know every story, every wound, every memory. Their whole life's happiness is wrapped up in you. Every single moment. Don't you get it? Look down the road to her wedding. I'm in a room alone with her, fitting her veil, fluffing her dress, telling her no woman has ever looked that beautiful. And my fear is that she'll be thinking, I wish my mom was here.
And mine is, she won't. But the truth is, she doesn't have to choose. She can have us both. Love us both. And she will be a better person because of me and because of you. I have their past, and you can have their future.
This scene, and the movie overall, personify the concept of viewing alternative responses not as forks in the road, but rather a completely new path, one that has previously been unknown to us. In the case of Isabel, she never wanted to be a mother, but meeting her fiancé and encountering Jackie with her illness has created an alternate life that she'd never imagined living. For Jackie, she imagined a life with her husband and her children, not one with incurable lymphoma and another, much younger woman raising her children. Now, instead of rebelling against the change in her health or her relationship with her ex-husband and her children, she can begin a completely new journey with new insights. Arnett, Hardin, Fritz, and Bell use the example of a farmer's mentality when thinking of health and responsiveness. They use the concept of growing from manure, and while it may seem bad or unfortunate in its beginnings, the right cultivation process can grow and nurture plants or crops into things that we never thought possible. This concludes my presentation on health and responsiveness. I leave you with a quote by real-life Superman Christopher Reeve. A hero is an individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. Thank you for listening.